I hope more people got better sleep than I did last night. It's a new moon today. It is a new moon today. I did not sleep much. And I have a feeling that a lot of energetic sensitives did not sleep very well last night either. I tossed and turned. I did dream, so I know I fell asleep at some point, but it was a rough night. That's for certain. And even morning, I mean, I got low juice. My juice is low today. I'm hydrating. I feel a little bit better coming outside, putting my feet in the dirt and grounding. There was a huge shockwave last night that if we were Mars and Mars was us, I would not be making this video today. And you would not be watching it. So, collectively, the energies are vibrant. And the birds are chatting. And the stupid flies won't leave me alone. Ants aren't doing much today, though. They're just kind of meandering around. They don't have a whole lot of urgency, I see. Anyway. So, give you a little bit of frame of reference. It's important to find out the space in which people are coming from. It helps you tune in to their spirit. It's like radio. I remember one of the first radio stations I ever listened to was K6O AM radio in Reading. And I had a little yellow radio, ran on batteries, little handle, and I'd put it around my wrist, and I'd ride my bicycle around, and I listened to songs like Tom Petty and Queen and all kinds of stuff that, I mean, really music has been my best friend my whole entire life. The stories are like my aunts and uncles that told me stories, that would tell me stories at Thanksgiving about how things used to be, even though that didn't really happen. Part of the spiritual path is becoming vulnerable, and I've gotten pretty good at that. It took a long time to see the value in it. People like me have big hearts and we're thick-skinned. It's because at some point in time, we found it necessary to be rule followers, and then we were born into a world where people said follow these rules, and then they didn't follow them themselves, and they would do things different, and I would sit back and watch, and I'd get so confused because some people get to follow the rules, some people didn't have to, and I just didn't know when those things applied. When I don't know who got to choose what and all that stuff. So it created a lot of confusion, and confusion is nothing new, and it can be used as a viable tool. My frame of reference is I was born, I don't know if this happens, so if this still happens, and if this happened to somebody that happens to watch this video, please by all means comment in the video. I'd like to have a conversation with you. But in the 70s, this is all hearsay, and in my recollection and things like that. And I have pretty good recall. It's not always a gift, but I guess it is. Anyway, so in the 70s and before that, sometimes when people would go get divorced, they would they'd petition the court and go stand in front of the judge. Every now and again, the judge would not grant the divorce. This was the instance for my parents. They had a little boy, Jerome, in August 24th, 1971. He's fine. He's great. He's living his life. He's having a ball. He's a great dad, husband. He's fine. Anyway, and then they went to court and then tried to get a divorce, and then the judge wouldn't grant it. So they, in the attempt of their reconcile, interstage left the parting gift to me. They tried to reconcile. Mom, they conceived me. I was born April 9th, 1974, 11:01 a.m. cesarean. They did a partial hysterectomy at the same time, which hormonally was devastating to her as well. My mother. As a result of the complications and the nature of the surgery, I didn't meet her until 3 days later. So that kind of explains my my fondness for nurses now, but anyway. Dad showed up at some point. Stories conflict. I don't know. Wasn't the same day. Pretty sure it was the same week, though. No matter. The energetic connection wasn't there. It wasn't established with either parents from the get-go. So, a substantial part about my journey is that they say we sign up for this, that we our souls, like there's a call to the universe, and we signed up. Some days I feel like I'm drafted. Like, what the really? Mom had a lot of mental illness. There was a lot of dissonance. We reverse roles at a very young age. She's never been clinically diagnosed. Doesn't matter. I don't really like their terms anyway. People that diagnose people, a lot of them are mean. Anyway, so reading text and making myself familiar with my surroundings, she fits in lots of categories. Paranoid schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder, all kinds of stuff. So, needless to say, childhood was different than a lot of people's. A lot of things that people take for granted, I have nothing beyond conceptual imagination. Family dinners. I mean, something as simple as like the tooth fairy. I got a lot of IOUs. We were, like I said, my parents were divorced when I was 8 months old, so. Then there was an ugly custody dispute. Hard telling. It lasted 5 years. There's a lot of ugly stuff that happened back and forth, and a lot of behavior that was done out of spite. It wasn't for the best interest of myself or my brother. So, needless to say, we spent a lot of Christmases on Greyhound buses. 11 hours. From wherever Greg lived to Reading. A lot of times it was 11 hours. A lot of Thanksgivings were turkey pot pies because, Mom always gave us choices in life. She always made it clear that we always had choices, so she would put the choice on us. You want turkey pot pies, or so we can eat for the rest of the month, or we can do one, big Thanksgiving meal and get a freaking chicken. So I learned how to be responsible. Don't really like frivolous things, but I do know the importance of having the right tools in the right situation. So anyway, I feel good now. Yeah, it gets painful because I can just go right back to the same of emotions as I was during a lot of these instances. It's and that's only because I will never forget where I came from. Okay, I am not sorry for anything that ever happened, anything that has happened in my life. I am not a victim. I am only merely trying to be an example. You do not have to come from a place of love in this world to feel it, to know it. But if you put in enough effort, if you try real hard, and you have enough animals in your life, because I've always had cats and dogs, I highly recommend it, that you can be this perpetual motion machine that they've always talked about, and forever generate the frequency of love. I've learned how to do that. And I'm going to keep sharing with you all. So maybe if you learn how to be vulnerable and tell people about what scares you, they can't use it against you later on. So there's strength in vulnerability. I don't know how much more vulnerable I can get than sharing my fucking snot with the world. So, happy new moon. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. I encourage you all, even if you don't stop and listen to this, even if you just see this video in your thread with my big old meat face in it, feel the vibration of love that I have for everybody, because that's